Oh, we are.
Mr.
All right.
Chairman.
Oh my gosh, I'm losing control here. All right, call meeting order at 11:01. Please stand and join us for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Zampedro, please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Chiccanetti.
Present.
Trustee Hillier.
Present.
Trustee Pennock.
Present.
Fiscal Officer Petrarca.
Present.
All present and accounted
Try to
for.
cut down on feedback.
Okay. All right, so I will open the public meeting. Not a public hearing, it's a public hearing, isn't it? Is it a public hearing for the budget, isn't it?
It is, no, we're approving.
I know, but isn't it a public hearing or no?
Hold on a second.
It says public meeting for the annual fiscal budget. I've never seen it worded that way, so I'm confused.
Yeah, I think it is a public meeting.
I thought it was a hearing as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right.
yes.
Okay, so open the public hearing at 11:03 for the annual fiscal budget for 2023. We'll let the fiscal officer run through that.
Okay. Receipts, properties, taxes, and all funds, $7,339,309. Other sources of funds, $3,062,865, for a total of $10,402,174. And the expenditure size, general fund, $194,441.
Huh?
940,441. Motor vehicle license, 50,000. Gasoline tax, 200,000. Road and bridge fund, 1,796,453. Police district, $778,074. Fire district fund, $5,917,048. Permissive license tax fund, 50,000. Coronavirus ARP funds, $260,056. Street lighting assessment fund, $95,396, and OPWC, $300,000, for a total of $10,387,468.
Well-balanced budget. Okay, any discussion?
Yes,
Okay.
so need a motion, right?
Not yet.
Not yet, just discuss.
Okay, so
At this point in
discussion.
time, we're just looking for those in favor
So-
and opposed.
Yeah,
I think, unless, so educate me, so our police district shows the existing number, it doesn't show with the additional deputies that we're hiring with, under the other contract. Does that money show up elsewhere? I thought that money would be included in that
yeah,
fund.
we don't have that income or that expenditure. Doesn't show there, Mike.
That's not under the coronavirus ARP fund?
No, because this, well, I don't know, but the money for that is, yes, the expenditures there, oh, yeah, that's right, because it's under the
Yeah.
expenditure,
Yes.
Chuck, and the income is going
Yeah.
directly to the sheriff's office.
And the income would be in the 3 million.
Yeah, but
for other sources.
we're not getting paid that, it's going directly to the sheriff's
You
office?
still gotta account for it, though.
Oh, okay, so
So you
that's,
account for it under the ARPS fund?
no, the income under the property taxes, all funds, right?
I don't think that's right. I thought
all
we were
other
over
small-
$11 million.
All other sources.
I thought we were over $11 million with,
Every 1 year.
including the ARP funds,
You have
no?
1 year.
Yeah, because it's 870,000, I could be wrong here, obviously, but,
Well, we could,
Hold on.
leave this, I mean, if we want, we could,
Close the public hearing.
no,
Well-
we could push the public hearing to finish until,
This right now is a guesstimate, the budget is just, that's not like set in stone. I mean, it's not like when we're doing our annual fiscal appropriations and everything like that. Obviously, we try to be as quickly, as best as we can. Hold on a second. It just,
well, we don't have to finish this today. We can push the public hearing out until the next meeting and get the updated numbers and then finish the public hearing at the next meeting, right? Or do we have to pass a resolution?
we have to have it by, I want to say July 15th. Hold on 1 second. Let me answer your question. You don't have to, we're not voting on it until a little bit later in the meeting.
Hearing's open, we should have.
Right.
correct numbers.
That's what I'm saying. What's the one before, not postpone? Is it a postpone?
So the American Rescue Plan,
I swear, word again, I can't find those. I'm always looking for that word. What's that word?
That's what I'm here for.
Yes, see,
Don't do much.
the dictionary over there.
Yeah, Chuck, that 260 is, that's the monies that we're getting in 2023 for that.
That's in there then?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. And expenditure.
say that again, please?
That 260,000 that's right here,
Yeah,
that's the money that's allocated for 2023
for the sheriff's
for
department?
the sheriff's department, yes.
Okay,
And then the income is in that 3 million part.
plus other sources includes that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Okay.
then I'm good, thank you for clarifying.
Okay. Any other discussion? Anyone opposed or against? Okay, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing at 11:08. Need a motion to approve the minutes from the May 17, 2022 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Administrator, summary of the work session, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had adjourned into an executive session, to begin the work session to have conference with our attorney on pending and imminent
Hey,
court
Jack
actions.
signs.
I reported on our ODNR Nature Works grant that we're going to be submitting next month. I gave the trustees an update on our landfill issue and the Mentor Marsh possibilities there. We also discussed the township security upgrades. The fire chief made the trustees aware of the safer grant hire. We did lose one individual there, but did replace him. We had a discussion on the Stropek chemical spill update. It was a non-toxic, non-hazardous material. The fire chief discussed the juvenile fire setters program, as well as our fire safety outreach with the school kids, both in kindergarten and second grade. We had a good discussion on recruitment and retention in the fire department, including the use of a grant that is being made available to the township. Our service director discussed future curbside collections and possibilities to address some concerns there. He discussed the Nelmar septic sewer system concerns with the two current failures of systems out there. He also gave a very in-depth update on our parks, various park projects. Our zoning administrator discussed the casement Phase 1 process that we're going to be having more discussion on next week. We also had a discussion of the change of our August meeting date, as well as the possibility of change in October, and we will confirm those going forward. And that is all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Any old business from the floor?
John Music, 45 Coventry Drive. First of all, I attended that CPR refresh. I want to thank Frank and the fireman that put that, was Lieutenant Morris.
Yes.
They did an excellent job, and I want to thank them for that. And question for Mike, is our fiscal year calendar year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple other items, it's probably for Bill, that's on the agenda, is they're going to cut the grass at 65 Normandy. Would it be possible to cut a path to the man gate to the fairgrounds with the fair coming up at the end of July? Because that grass is this high now.
Is that located at 65?
Yeah, it's in the back, it's on the east side of it. Would it be possible, just to cut a path so people can use that man gate that's there? Would that be possible? Because the fair, I think, starts at 26th, if I remember correctly. Okay, and I was going to talk to Deputy, that bowling alley door has been open at times. Who knows why? And then my neighbor takes his dog for a walk, and he said he looked in that trailer one day, somebody was in there with a lighter. It was at night. Who knows what they're doing, but I was gonna, and I have another question there. Have you received a Center Park update on the flood? I talked to Tim the other day at the commissioners meeting, Okay.
I haven't received
Have you?
anything.
Okay, I'll tell you what I was told by Tim. They're thinking about tearing down the bowling alley.
Yeah, we
You
came
know
up that.
that. And the land bank, and then what we're getting at is, they have the two proposals, but they think by taking that, and I don't know who's gonna own that property when it's
So
done.
you just, to back up, we brought them the idea of that
Right.
thing was in the rears a lot in taxes.
Right.
So, we brought up the idea of, hey, if we could acquire that through the land bank, so it goes through the process, the taxes are forgiven,
Right.
then it could get raised, and we could use that as a retention base, and we brought that idea to the county as a possible solution for somewhere to put some of that water.
Okay.
That was the last that we've never heard anything back
Yeah.
on that I know of, so.
That's basically what he told me,
Okay.
that would be part of a solution for the flooding problem that I was getting at. And who would end up owning the property, the county?
Township. probably.
Township, because it would have to come from township.
It's part of our stormwater.
We would probably give, yeah, the county would have an easement for stormwater, but it would be ours.
Yeah, because they were having some easement problems over there, as you know, I'm sure. So anyhow, then, I think that, just one thing Jason Boyd said at the 2 meetings ago, I believe. He said, we have 232,603 people here in Lake County. And I don't know where he got the number from, but he said by 2030, they're looking at 1 out of 3 will be a senior. So, I've been going to and I encourage everybody to go to the Riverside board meetings, which I am doing now, to listen. I did a walk with them yesterday on how they maybe possibly renovating versus building new and so forth, and we looked throughout the building and so forth. So I'm just saying that I highly recommend that, and I think that's all I have. Last thing, at the park, because I walk there now instead of walking on the streets to make it easier on my bottom of my feet. So I walked 500 miles last year, and my doctor says, I've been walking for 12 years, he says, you're overdoing it, so I got to cut back. So, but anyhow, how far up does the property line go towards the school?
At the end of the base of where the basketball court is, so where the
Okay.
pavement ends north, the north edge
Okay.
of the basketball court, all the way, that goes,
So it's a
just look across
okay.
the back and it goes that
Okay,
way.
so it's a basketball court.
The end of it, so the basketball court is not ours, it's the edge of the basketball court.
Edge is the schools,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, any
Okay.
pavement on that basketball court is theirs.
Yeah, because, with schools out now, but I thought, the way things are going with schools, I don't want to be walking up to the school and be on a camera or something.
Okay,
I just
yeah.
wanted to stay away from there, and so, I think that's all that's on my list. Okay?
Okay.
Very good.
Thanks.
All right, and
Thank
again,
you.
thank you, Frank, they did a great job. How many people went, I know I was a third, there was 2 other people in
We
meeting.
had, I think it was right around 10, so it wasn't a great turnout, but we did.
There's a husband and wife, and we were all there at the same time, so, but thanks for doing it. You never know. Just
Yeah.
like I told Lieutenant Morris and the other, and I said, back in when I was married, my daughter came up, and I didn't know if we still use the Heimlich, but it's very scary when so I turned her upside down, did the Heimlich, nothing, of course. Thank God, my ex-wife, she had long nails, here was a plum seed stuck in there, and, how do you, just like another one, like
How old was she?
about 5,
Yeah.
very scary.
Scary, yep.
Very
Yeah, you had
scary when
kids.
and just like Frank probably know, there was one over there by me, I was the president of the condo association, and I haven't heard from such and such in a long time, or mail's there and all this, pounded on the door, and I thought, so we found a way to get in. Here she had been laying there, she was stuck, she couldn't get up, and she was just so dehydrated and everything, and you never know. And
Yep.
I'm just saying, how do you really know hopefully you'll never have to use
Right,
it.
right,
But
right.
I'm just saying, I want to thank you guys for doing it, putting that on. Okay.
We'll be having another one in the fall.
Yeah, let me know, because you never know. All right.
Any old business, any other old business from the floor? Any new business from the floor? If you have something you'd like to discuss, we just ask you to state your name and your address for the record,
Come to the
please.
microphone,
Come to the
please.
microphone.
My name is Ron Egbert from 210 Overlook. I'm just
What's the
wondering-
address?
210
210 Overlook. Just wondering about this fireworks thing, how we control consumer grade fireworks. Supposedly, that on DeWine's article, he mentioned bottle rockets and Roman candles, which are very tame, no problem. But I have a next door neighbor that goes way beyond that. He's using commercial. And I've called, it doesn't do a whole lot of good. They come out, he lies to them, and they leave, and they're back to it as soon as he's down to Madison Avenue. I wonder how we're gonna,
Well, that's always, you're making the, part of the point there is that even when they were completely illegal, it didn't stop people, right? And causes an additional drain on our law enforcement chasing down, because I'm sure the, sheriff's deputy here will tell you that in most cases, you call, they come, it stops, they leave, it starts, and it's a vicious cycle, and there's really, I don't know, he can speak to this, but I don't know if there's legal or not legal, if there's any, way to stop that, and it's been something that these guys have been dealing with for forever, so.
possibly citing a few of them would maybe lessen it.
Well, yeah, but again, he'll have to speak, you gotta catch them in the act, right? They have to catch them in the act, you can say it, but unless I think they catch them actually breaking the law.
We'll get Deputy
Yeah.
Infalvi to speak, and let's see what
Right.
he's got to say on it, because that is a concern that I've got and other people have raised, is are they using the grade, are they using commercial grade? Because there's been some hell of a presentations that are done, and then how do you, so Sheriff Infalvi, after he's done here, can you comment on that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so sir, what else did you have?
Well, he's got about a dozen grandchildren that are all around there too, and the lady next door to me is a school teacher at Riverside, and she called in and complained about that because of the danger of those kids running around. And that also bothers me. Okay,
Thank you.
You want,
Call them up first.
I guess your process, and then I'll let you give your report if you want while you're up here as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's no more new business anyway, so you're next anyway, so.
Okay. So, I mean, to your point, we'll do whatever the township wants to do as far as if they want to opt out or stay in. I'll just go by past history. So, 4th of July, for example, we'll use. We'll start our afternoon shift, and by 9 o'clock, we'll have like 100 calls holding on our MDTs.
Right.
That's just fireworks alone, and not even the other calls for service that are coming in that are prioritized. So, just like medical teams, we triage our calls for service. So, things will be holding, we won't get to things, or we'll stop by to make sure that there's not a huge, somebody's not going to get killed or seriously injured. But like I said, we'll have, in short, 100 calls holding on our MDT screen. And again, that's not even regular calls for service. So what we'll typically do is we'll try to get down to the area as we're triaging. We'll see if they're active or not. If they are active and we don't have more pertinent calls coming in, we'll stop by and and tell them, hey, this is the situation, you can't shoot them off anymore. We can't just cite them because it's a misdemeanor of the first degree. So a citation just doesn't work. Each one of those, if we were to send charges to the court, would require a case report, which is like an hour. We'd have to collect the fireworks, we need to store them. How are we going to store them? Then we have to log them into evidence, which takes a lot period of time. And then we have to hold on to them because we can't just get rid of them. We have to have a court order that says, hey, you can get rid of evidence. So where are we gonna keep them?
Right.
And then again, who are we going to charge? Who is the violator? So you have to have beyond a reasonable doubt, probable cause to make an arrest on that. And who is the person setting them off, and et cetera, et cetera. We can't just go there and take their fireworks and go throw them away or do what we want with them. So again, then you have deputies running around with thousands of fireworks in their cars, and where are we going to keep them? At the sheriff's office? So that's where we are at that.
Okay.
That's why we try to give warnings as much as we can. A lot of people will adhere to the warnings. I understand if they don't. If we come back and we make an issue, we'll do what we have to do. But,
Question?
but it's very, yes.
How do you, so I was reading the articles on these things about the new state law. Do you guys have any way of determining what's legal as far as use of fireworks as opposed to people using
No,
commercial grade?
it doesn't matter what kind of firework it is, if it's.
Well, it
if it's-
specifies that
It's consumer grade versus professional grade. is what
Yeah,
Well,
consumer
I mean,
grade
and-
versus commercial
And
grade.
for us to be able to determine that, I mean, I guess common sense would tell you what's commercial grade
Yeah,
versus
it's a
consumer
big,
grade.
it's a big tube.
Yes, but then you do run into that issue. I mean, we'll have to determine that. And then that would, I guess that would have to be dealt with in court when they get cited, if they get cited into Painesville Municipal
So
Court.
there's no formal
they
training
would-
for the sheriff's department to determining what's what?
Or even
No.
law enforcement around the
Law
state.
enforcement at all, I don't think,
Yeah.
from what I've read.
No,
I know the state fire marshal came out with just a basic, they worked, when they wrote this, I read the bill,
So-
there's stipulations in the bill working with the state fire marshal to set up certain guidelines, but I don't think that there's
Yeah.
any type of like.
And
Or
that
about
would
the
come
same
out,
side.
that would be up to their defense attorney to argue that in court, and if the judge decides that they want to, what they want to do. I don't know how Painesville Municipal Court will act on it either. I mean, that's judicial, so we could even go to all that work, and then the judge could say, well, it's legal in the state of Ohio, and, or Perry doesn't have it, Painesville Township does, and then he could just maybe just say, well, we're gonna throw out the case. I don't know, I'm not putting
And I
words
know,
in their mouth.
I know traditionally that it's always been sort of, don't do it again, kind of,
Yeah.
you know, and it's
Just-
treated that way anyway, you know?
Right, because if we acted on each and every one of those, we would be like in day 2, finishing up on them.
Right,
And then our
right.
case reports and everything, day 3 and 4.
And it's already against township resolution to do it after 11 PM regardless.
Right, and
that
typically in
doesn't
years
change.
past, after that mark, our and as we're catching up and we're clearing out our call screens, they level off anyway. And then we're able to take more aggressive action, I guess you would say.
So with the new state law, it's legal on certain days. So are you going to be able to then enforce it more stringently on
The off
on
days.
the other 300?
Oh, yeah, because we rarely get firework complaints as it is, except for like the 4th of July.
Right.
Okay.
So, I mean, we get them, but we don't get them in that magnitude. I honestly, in my personal opinion, don't think it's gonna increase that much on those other days, but,
Right, so some of the concerns I've heard of, well, they're going to be more readily available, so people are going to shoot them off other times.
I mean, I can see
Everybody
that,
has a
but
different argument.
yeah.
It's already
Um,
against the law in those days.
It's already against the law anyways.
Correct.
That's the point, is that my stance on is that it's already against the law, and you just answered what I've been saying. You guys run 100+ calls on a 4th of July for something that's illegal anyways, right?
And
So-
that's usually between a short time frame. So between like typically
9 and
8
10.
to 11. I mean, they're like,
And on a busy day already anyways, because of drinking and partying and other types of instances that come from that. So in my mind, on that day, in a sense, you can alleviate 100+ calls that you guys have to worry about so that you're available to respond to more serious types of calls.
I mean, yeah, and answer short, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the priority level would go down even more.
Right, okay.
So I guess, but I'm coming back to the same question again.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I was reading, they're talking commercial grade, consumer grade. Law enforcement in general, as far as you know, even other departments, there is no training to even recognize what's consumer grade, what's that. Because a couple of people have mentioned to me, they don't mind the fireworks, but they said they're too big, they're huge. And if they stick to the consumer grade, then that's one thing, but they're not sticking to the consumer grade. So,
Do you know
but hang on. So you guys aren't even educated to look and determine what's what, if I'm understanding the conversation correctly.
No, I mean, aside from reading a label, I guess.
I can tell you this much, the stuff they're selling that is consumer grade, you might not think it's consumer grade, but it's,
You can shoot mortars that are
I mean,
2-inch diameter.
I'm shooting balls off
Yeah.
that are, they're consumer grade, you buy them at Phantom Fireworks, and shoot them off in your backyard, and it looks like pretty legit fireworks show. So what is consumer grade is,
If you're worried about
and the
it,
thing is
if you're worried about it, be careful and stay inside.
and they're already selling them. It's already available. They got rid of the lie law, so that's gone.
The what?
Where you had to sign a thing and lie that you were taking, they call it the lie
Oh,
law.
we take it out of state.
They
You
were-
promise to take it out of
promise-
state.
Yeah, the promise law. So they got rid of that because they call it the lie law because everybody just signed it even though they knew they weren't taking them out of state. So they got rid of that like 6 years ago. So they're not changing, any of the fireworks they sell now are still gonna be sold. And in fact, they've actually increased with this bill, the safety standards of storage, sales, et cetera, that is out there. So the bill actually takes burden off of law enforcement and creates more of a safety environment around the sale and manufacturing of them, so, from everything out there.
I think we need to be careful that, now that this new state law is making them legal on certain days, I don't want it to start creeping to, people using them other days and saying, well, it was legal to do it yesterday, what's wrong with today?
Well,
So I want to make sure that if this new state law allows it on certain days, that we are definitely enforcing it
Oh, yeah, on the off days.
on the off days, because we don't want it to creep to becoming more of a common.
But it's like his point, I think, too, even on 4th of July, when it's not legal, but people do it anyways, they do it around the holiday and it kind of trails off, I'm sure. There's a guy that still has a couple extras blowing off, I get it in my neighborhood, whatever, but I think the thing around this bill, the spirit of it is to give people that release around the holiday so that these guys aren't chasing their tail other days of the year with fireworks, so. But, okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Do you want me to go into, you want me to finish the report?
Yeah, now do your report, yeah.
If you want to do an abbreviated report, or you want the full thing, whatever.
Oh,
You
no,
can do it. You're
it's,
fine.
it'll be quick. May 2022, 1,515 calls for service, 4 domestic violence arrests, 5 OBI arrests, 4 disorderly conduct arrests, breaking and entering and criminal tools arrest, aggravated drug and drug instruments arrest, a trespassing arrest. And then on Madison Avenue, we had a burglary, vandalism, resisting arrest, and trespassing. This one was in the middle of the night. A intoxicated male broke into a house that was occupied with kids and the family. They ran out of the house and evacuated. Deputies showed up, had to close the road for a certain extended period of time, set up a perimeter, tried to talk the male out of the house, which he refused to do so. Eventually, deputies did immobilize with more safety gear and more additional resources, and went into the house and tased the male and had to take him into custody. 64 alarms, 12 citations, 164 warnings, 22 disturbances, 94 suspicious circumstance vehicles and persons. Just a snapshot.
Anthony, was the male, did the family know the male that broke into the house?
No,
He was
he was a stranger.
Question? When did you guys start doing road patrols in Perry Township?
Oh, gosh. That was after the last election. Or not,
After
no, not after that. As soon as the
ARP funds.
ARP fundings came in.
So, approximately?
Same time as when you guys got them. When was that?
Last fall or something.
Yeah, last fall.
November, December.
Okay. The reason I ask is I was speaking with one of their trustees, and he was talking about how his he's getting the information from the sheriff's department, the crime rates have increased, it looked like almost double from the numbers he was showing, and the question in my mind that's always been with how they say Painesville Township incorporates 52% of the call-ins for the sheriff's department. Part of that, my thought process has always been, well, we've got deputies here all the time, and so it's more likely to get used, where Perry and Leroy didn't. And so my thought was, I was wondering if maybe that increase is partly exaggerated due to Perry now having deputies there regularly.
Well, you're going to get more calls for service and traffic violations or drug possession violations or suspicious circumstances in vehicles, because now we are in the township, so we are proactively patrolling, and then we do come across things, and that we would not have in the past, that's taking place, that people either wanted to ignore or they didn't know what was going on in their township. But now that we have a presence there, and deputies are out patrolling, they do run into a lot more things. And also, people do call us a little bit more often because they know they're gonna get a service out of it. So that is why the numbers have gone up.
So Painesville Township, are we holding steady, or we increased also?
You've been increased, I mean, I'll have to look at your past stats over the past year. But you guys by far get the most arrests and the highest volume of calls versus any of the townships, including Concord, each month.
We're also the most densely populated though, too, right, of the townships?
Well, I mean, you guys have, what, 20,000 residents? Concord has about the same.
Yeah, but,
They're spread out.
I think it's density because we have more denser neighborhoods than they do.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
Neighbors are
yeah.
close to neighbors.
Yeah,
yeah.
density more on top.
I got you, yes, yes.
So I guess in Perry Township, maybe crime hasn't gone up, but.
It's being
reported.
seen more.
Yeah,
We're finding it.
Well, I was just gonna,
When we otherwise would not have.
Yeah.
well, I think that's to your point, is that if you have more patrols in Painesville Township, so you're out more and you see more, obviously there's gonna be more documented crime because where if you're in a community where the only time you're getting it is if a person reports it, that's gonna be.
I would say also is Painesville Township typically had, even before, 3 deputies pretty much all the time. I mean, just because we're always going through it.
Sure.
And the amount of calls, we would always have to pull people. So now we could say that they are Painesville Townships versus, the Robert One car or the roving car all the time. So
You have more
you
dedicated
probably,
cars.
you do, I mean, the 1515 that I just said for month of May is pretty high, I would say, compared to in the past, but I'll have to look at those. But
We've been-
still, I mean,
We've been in about the 1200s normally, and then
yeah,
occasionally
still,
we'll
I
see a little
mean,
spike here and there.
we would use a lot of our resources anyways here, but now we could say,
You have proper allocation.
yes.
Right.
You guys do a great job, and we do
Yeah.
see you a lot, so
Yep.
thank you very much.
And then down in your neighborhood too, we had a big party, like 70 plus, 80
They're always
plus
causing problems
kids.
down
Oh, I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
we,
heard about that.
yeah, so we pulled everybody down there and asked Perry Village for help and,
It's a rough neighborhood I live
I
in.
know, they're always causing problems in that area.
but yes,
Just 70
Especially on
kids?
Pebble Beach Cove.
I had way more than that in my house.
All right, thank you.
They
Thank you.
never showed up at my house.
All right,
You're not
Service
surrounded by
department.
500
I have
some
nothing
homes
to add,
that
Mr.
are
Chairman.
in
Fire
association
department.
with Facebook.
Just a couple of comments on the fireworks lodge, simply because Chuck had asked me to look up a couple things, but numbers, the number things, we don't, in Painesville Township, as far as I know, we've had, maybe 5 years ago, we had one fire created by a fireworks display, and that was on a deck.
so improper lighting anyways, right?
Well,
So you haven't
yeah.
had any injuries or any deaths?
We had
or
one
anything?
injury last year, again by an illegal display. Person basically blew his hand off on after we went and told them they couldn't do it because it was at the Speedway.
Oh.
And they didn't have a license that day, and they had always had it before, but that time they didn't get it, so we told them they couldn't do it, they shut it down. When they were picking up the empty shells, they found one. When he picked it up, he realized it wasn't empty and it blew off in his hand. So it was a pretty severe injury to his hand, and that was last year. So that's, our history of it is not huge, we haven't had a lot. But just what types of injuries would you see? Most of the injuries nationwide are from firecrackers.
Yeah, in hands.
In-hand stuff, firecrackers,
I read
sparklers, things
that.
like that.
For the
Things you
user.
hold.
Things you
and
hold,
light, or
yeah.
like they say.
Not much on the aerial displays. They're very low percentage-wise. The biggest percent is firecrackers and sparklers, so, and it's hand and face injuries. The other thing is just kind of a thing here in the law, because I actually read the law too. There is, for aerial devices, you can't do it within 150 feet of a spectator, it says, so you're supposed to have a crowd stand back. That's in the law.
Right.
So my concern was the increase in the number of people shooting them off, that it would be a problem, and it still could be, and I'm concerned about it, but it would be in places like in neighborhoods. you know, where developments, because, you know, like you said, you got a 70-foot, you know, a yard that's 70 feet wide. How do you create a 150-foot buffer for these aerial devices?
So it's already illegal.
But it is illegal. Yes, that's my point.
It's another
Okay.
one.
So that is in the law, so, all right. That being said, that was just looking up the things you had asked me to look up.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the juvenile fire centers that we talked about, I just wanted to bring it up for the public part of the meeting, that we do have a program. It's on all the details are on the website for Painesville Township. I'll give you the number if anybody needs it, or they can call me directly at any of the fire stations. We'll put them in touch with Lieutenant Gordon Thompson, who handles that program. When you would know if someone would need it is if kids are playing with fit matches, if you catch them, they have an unusual fascination with it, not just one time they picked one up. But if they're playing with them all the time, or they seem to be super attracted to it, things like that, definitely give us a call. We'll talk to them, let them know about the dangers of playing with matches and things like that. So we do have that program available. But thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Zoning.
I have nothing to add, Mr. Chairman.
I would like to add, I emailed you about it, I don't know if you saw it or not, but, you know, we had the issue with a certain parking lot on Menor Avenue that in the front they were parking tractor trailers, and now in the back of that building, it has become a tractor trailer parking lot on a regular basis.
Yeah, so actually, Sean and I did the initial inspection, and Sean sent out letters to all of the owners, and it went from how many were originally out there?
7.
7, and now it's down to 2.
Down to 2, and I'm in contact with them.
Okay.
So basically, getting over COVID, and one truck's broke down, and he needs the other one to jump it.
Okay.
Did you get the one on South Dome?
The 2.5 ton, I have not seen it in the past 3 days. I haven't checked it, so I'm planning on going out today. The
Okay.
letters have been sent.
Thank you.
Okay. Legal.
Nothing to report.
Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 2 quick things. I'd like to thank Marks Corporation. They donated $5,000 sponsorship to all of our community events, and
Wow.
we did receive the check last week.
Nice.
So again, thank you to them for getting involved with the township. They have a very nice store just down the road. And then also, as part of our Family Fun Day and in discussion with Trustee Cicconetti, I think we're going to try to expand some of the use out there to include community games, so I'm looking for nonprofits, booster organizations who would maybe like to do a little mini fundraiser for themselves. And I've had experience with this with other festivals. You set up a little booth, 10 by 10 pop-up tent. We'll have a row of them, and it's carnival-like games. I know the Lake Catholic golf teams do a putting booth. I'll give prizes to kids. You pay $1, you get a putt, but all the kids walk away with a handful of candy regardless. So we're looking to get some folks interested in doing that. And, you know, the pick up a duck is always a good one, the magnetic fishing, things of that nature, so that the kids have a good chance of winning something. So,
Okay.
Nice.
and that's all I have for the trustees today.
Okay, thank you. Fiscal officer.
I would request a resolution to adopt the annual budget for the fiscal year 2023.
Did you ask legal?
As I had previously reported.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Would also request resolutions to certify the cleanup costs for the following properties and dollar amounts. 65 Normandy for $400, 872 Arden Avenue for $278, 716 Carson Avenue for $280, and 919 Pontiac Avenue for $280.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's all I have, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Trustees, I need a motion to request a resolution to appoint Sean Ishay to the Compliance Officer for Painesville Township Credit Cards.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that new? Okay, I was like, I've never seen that before. I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to First Class Construction, Inc. in the amount of $18,549.16 for bathroom addition at Fire Station on Bull Hall Road.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to HZW Environmental Consultants in the amount of $4,725 for professional services for the closed landfill.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to Provisions Impressions for the amount of $3,488 for the newsletter.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to Melzer's Fuel Service in the amount of $3,310.17 for fuel in the service and fire department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I need a motion to request a resolution to declare commercial sandblaster as having a value of less than $2,500 and to be sold by private sale for $350.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to Albers and Albers in the amount of $3,562.50 for professional services for economic development.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I need a motion to request a resolution to approve payment to Darrell Laurie in the amount of $4,396.32 for electrical for the storage building at the service department.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything else?
Yes.
Okay.
Can Bill explain number 6 in more detail? I assume that's him.
Okay, so we've got a commercial sandblaster that hasn't been used in over 20 years. There was somebody that has done some work for the township in the past, is interested in it. He does body work.
Anything that's under $2,500 in value that we're getting rid of or vacating, we just pass a resolution that it's under $2,500 and then we're getting rid of it.
So what's the value of the thing?
$350.
Okay, it's just, it's misleading, but that's a statement that you have to state as part of the
If it's under 20,
resolution.
you just have to say it's worth under
Okay,
20.
I got something for zoning. So that house, on Oakwood, as you go around that 90-degree bend, and you got the lot on the left that has only the garage, and behind it, there's that big commercial trailer. What's the status of that thing?
That needs to be removed by the 26th or it goes to legal.
So they have until the 26th to remove it?
So it's Friday, I believe.
All right, okay, good enough, thank you.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, motion adjourned at 11:44.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So, what I'm gonna do is put out